morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about some more reveals from Paradox Rift. Some cards have been officially revealed, and these are very important, and they tell us quite a lot. So let's start off with Mewtwo EX. Now, we knew there was going to be a Mewtwo EX in the set, because we were literally told that in like the press release when the set was revealed. And I told you there was a Mewtwo EX in its own deck over in Japan, a lightning type. And I told you it was extremely likely that that was going to be the one in Paradox Rift. Well, it is, ladies and gentlemen, and that's genuinely awesome. And sure, like I said, we kind of knew this was coming, but to have the confirmation is genuinely a pretty big deal. And this Mewtwo's not bad, ladies and gentlemen. This Mewtwo's not bad. We've got single energy, and you get to attach 2 basic psychic energy from your trash to your Pokemon in any way you like, which is quite nice. And then we've got 2 energy, 10 damage base, plus 30 more for each psychic energy attached to all of your Pokemon. Honestly, pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, pretty gosh darn good. Okay, so yeah, not a bad card. What I will say is, you get a whole bunch of psychic energy on the board, and you can be smashing with this. Plus, it is a lightning type, and actually, lightning type at the moment is really kind of good. Because, of course, you've got stuff like Lugia, stuff like Squawkabilly running around. These really good cards that are going to see a bunch of play. Yeah, they're already seeing a bunch of play, to be fair. They'll go down to this very easily because of your hitting weakness. So the fact of the matter is, because you're hitting a lightning weakness as a psychic Pokemon, that actually gives you a nice little advantage that a lot of decks just don't have, frankly. Being able to do this and, you know, be playing a psychic deck but be hitting a lightning weakness, genuinely big, genuinely good, genuinely awesome, yay, etc. But actually, from the Mewtwo deck, it's not the Mewtwo that I'm most excited about. Now, this is a card that has not actually been revealed yet. It is Xatu. Now, I think at this stage, it is all but guaranteed to be in Paradox Rift. I want to be 100% clear. If it's been officially revealed, I've not seen it. But given that we've got the Mewtwo and the other cards I'm going to show you in a minute, it is overwhelmingly likely that it's going to be in. To the point where, and it isn't the kind of card they would usually take out to use as a promo. Sometimes we see EXs get taken out to be used as promos, or promos from Japan being promos over here. They don't generally take random set cards to use as promos. I suppose it could be pushed into the next set, but there's nothing we've seen to suggest that that's going to happen. So yeah. Now, the great news about this is the ability. And it's just the ability. That's all we really care about, all right? But what it does is it lets you, once during your turn, attach a basic psychic energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon, and then draw 2 cards. Now, it is only attaching 1 energy per turn, but you're drawing 2 cards, you're accelerating energy, and crucially, it doesn't matter which Pokemon you attach to. So this is basically the same ability we've seen on, say, Shadow Rider Calyrex. However, that specifically has to be attached to a psychic Pokemon. This doesn't. This can be attached to any Pokemon. Like, for instance, I don't know, a lightning-type Mewtwo. Just as an example. So this, and it doesn't have to be for Mewtwo, right? I think what we're going to see when Paradox Rift comes out is kind of a psychic box deck, using a bunch of different psychic Pokemon, trying to get 2 or 3 Xatu out on the field, and just accelerating energy round, bearing in mind, as you're accelerating energy, you're also drawing cards, and that is awesome. And I much, much prefer this to Shadow Rider Calyrex's ability, partly because you're not a free prize Pokemon, with a weakness in darkness that people are going after lately. And secondly, the fact you can attach it to any bench Pokemon. It doesn't have to be a psychic Pokemon. So for that reason, I much prefer it to Shadow Rider Calyrex. I cannot tell you it's actually going to be in Paradox Rift because we don't actually know one way or t'other. However, I think at this stage it's all but a given, right? Yeah, let's do that. But they've also gone and revealed Skeledirge. Now, this is good. We like Skeledirge, because this one we were a bit unsure of. And like I've said, they do sometimes take EXs to be used as promos. So when they told us there was going to be a Mewtwo, they didn't tell us there was going to be a Skeledirge, and I was a little bit worried about this. I should say, the Mewtwo was revealed in French by cnews.fr, and the Skeledirge line has been revealed in French by millennium.org. And this Skeledirge is the one from the Skeledirge deck, and that was released at the same time as the Mewtwo deck. They came as a pair, and now we actually have confirmation that this is definitely coming. We kind of figured it was. We predicted it was, and I said on this channel I think it would be. But I also acknowledged it could be taken to be used as a promo, etc., which does sometimes happen. The fact that it's not is awesome. Oh, as a side note, remember that the Skeledirge and Mewtwo have come from their own decks over in Japan. There are no full art versions, no special illustration rare, no gold, no nothing. There are no alternate versions of these cards. So yes, they are going to be in Paradox Rift. That is now 100% officially confirmed. But there will only be the regular print. You're not going to see any other print of these. You're not going to see a full art or a special illustration rare or anything along those lines. They don't exist, ladies and gentlemen. That there is no other version. Now, in terms of the attack here on the Skeledirge, I'm not terribly excited. It's 160 damage, not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. It's fine. It's one of those you're going to use occasionally because you got nothing better. But the ability is what we like, because it says once during your turn, you can discard a basic fire energy from your hand, and then your active Pokemon do an extra 60 damage this turn to your opponent's active Pokemon. Like, that's really good. You're just doing an extra 60 damage. And I did actually show you the other day a deck over in Japan that is seeing a little bit of success using this. Now, admittedly, and I did admit this at the time, the deck that I showed you the other day had won like an 18-person tournament or something. It was a very small tournament, but that's not the point. It showed that it can work. Now, it's Greedent V Max, and basically what you're doing here is using Turn of Profit to do 30 damage, but if you take a KO, you take 2 more prize cards, and now you're doing 90. Except there's nothing in Flamigator's ability here, if we use the French name of the Pokemon, to say you can only apply 1 at a time. It's once per turn, per Skeledirge. We've seen this ruling before, so let me be perfectly clear. No, discarding 1 fire energy will not activate all of the abilities at once. You need to discard a fire energy from your hand for each Skeledirge ability you actually want to use. Sorry about all of that. But now you could potentially, get 2 of these out. You're doing 150 with Greedent, and now all of a sudden you're taking 2 extra prizes on a basic. It's redonk. Of course, what you're going to do a lot of the time with Greedent is actually use double turbo energy. You go down to 10, but then Skeledirge puts you up to 70, and 70 is the magic number for KOing basic evolving Pokemon and basic support Pokemon, but you're taking free prizes off them. Like your KO2 Comfey and you win the game. KO2 routes and you win the game. It's absurd. And it's awkward and it's not always going to work. I understand. I don't really care. This is an amazing deck and I think it's very, very fun. And the fact that these 2 EX decks are coming in Paradox Rift is a very big deal, because this is something we were not completely sure about before. We'd been told there was a Mewtwo. It's now been confirmed it's this one. And we were not told one way or the other about Skeledirge. Well, now we have had it confirmed. The fact they're coming is awesome. But The Gamer have also gone and revealed a couple of English language cards we can have a little bit of a look at quickly, because I like these, and I want to, well, one of them especially, to be honest with you, I want to be making a deck, and I want to put this in that deck, and then I want to have lots of fun playing the Pokemon trading card game, which, to be fair, is something I do all the time. I do like this game quite a lot. So what we've got here, I like Slitherwing. It's a fighting Pokemon. Single energy, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. It's an ancient Pokemon, obviously. And look, I'm not saying that discarding 1 card from the top of your deck is going to win you the game all the time. It's not. But I am saying that if your opponent has got a single energy left in their deck, and they've got like a 4-card deck, You got a 1 in 4 chance of winning the game if you get rid of it with Stomp Off, and that's hilarious. If your opponent ever goes down to a single card in deck, Slitherwing goes up, discards that card, and they deck out at the beginning of their next turn. It's hilarious, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm 100% in favour of it. But we've then got Burning Turbulence, 2 energy, 120, plus 90 to itself, plus burn, so it's really 140. So if you can accelerate an energy to Slitherwing, turn 1 going second, then all of a sudden you're actually going to be doing like 140 damage, turn 1 going second. And I'm a very aggressive player by nature, in how I play, not in my demeanour. I'd like to be a nice person. I think I'm a nice person. But the point is, 140, turn 1 going second. Love it. You can use Gutsy Pickaxe to accelerate that energy, although you have to be kind of lucky with that. Or you can use Professor Sada's Vitality if you like. There is a lot to like about this, ladies and gentlemen. And I, for one, am a pretty big fan. The other one that was revealed was Iron Jugulis. I am much less of a fan of this. Free energy, 50 to free of your opponent's Pokemon with any damage counters on. It's alright. It's not bad. Certainly you can be KOing multiple evolving Pokemon here. But the thing is, even using something like Hawlucha, for instance, you're still only doing 60, and I just told you 70 is the magic number. So it's actually a little bit awkward. I want to be doing 70 to all the bench. So now I've kind of got to go double Hawlucha, and then I'm KOing a couple, and then it's just getting awkward at that point. So I like this, but the free energy is a little bit awkward. And having to really get 20 on before you start this is a little bit awkward. And I know later in the game this is going to be much more reliable, but I really want this in the early game to start taking out those evolving and support Pokemon. And I just don't think that's going to be particularly easy or likely, and that makes me sad. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I do live in hope, though, because this is a cool attack. The other one I like a bit more, 150 for 5 energy. But if you've got a Future Boost energy capsule, then you actually use it for free. As in 1, 2, 3, not actually 0. That would be silly. Also, Future Boost energy capsule, remember, will boost it by 20. So you're doing 170 for free energy on a basic single price Pokemon. It's not terrible, it's not great, but it's not terrible. The big news here is the confirmation that we are getting the Mewtwo and the Skeledirge. This is awesome, but now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these cards are exciting to you. Tell me what you want to do with them. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. Oh, and actually you can go and get a shout out on the channel, like the lovely AB3, who's been a supporter of ours for a while and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.